All right, folks, Thursday night, 8:30. You guys know what time it is, and we are ready to go. So we are going to try something a little bit different tonight. Movie Killer Podcast, mkpcast.com. We are live on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and like the last 2, 3, 4 months, we are not on TikTok yet, but we will slowly get there. I have my co-host with me, Mark, as always, and we are ready to get started. And just like that, there was silence. So tonight we're going to try something different. We're going to go into something where Mark and I have been toying with a lot of topics. And to be honest with you, we really enjoyed the show that we did last week. So we're like, why do we always have to focus on actors? We can focus on movies. We can focus on why movies succeed, why movies fail. In a world that we're in today, people love to hate. So I think we're going to focus a little bit more on why things fail than they succeed. Break it apart, come up with a little, some more data, some more metrics. And tonight we are going to focus on Oscar winners coming out of the Oscar season with my new casting director. Hold on. I had to look up her name. I was like, what is this chick's name? I talk about this all the time. I don't even know who it is. So the woman who won casting director, Cassandra Koulakundis. So we're going to make her famous with this podcast. She won for One Battle After Another. That was her claim to fame, which was a great movie, and the casting was spot on. So she did a phenomenal job there.
We should get T-shirts in her honor. I feel like because people are not going to have any idea what that means, but the fact that they added it as a category just shows the importance of that role, in any film. I think it's so underrated. It's like that assistant defensive coordinator on an NFL team, that guy that reads all the play, he's studying film and all, he's doing all the grunt work. And then he kind of, makes suggestions on plays on the defensive side.
Yep.
Underrated.
Yeah, I agree. And apparently they had been advocating for this or campaigning for this for decades, according to the articles.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, but they've been trying to get it in. And all it took was one small
podcast,
Movie Killers podcast, and boom, within months.
Without a doubt.
Right there. So that's the shirt. You should get a shirt that says, I came here to eat $8 hot dogs and vote for a casting director, and I'm all out of hot dogs. How about that?
Yeah, I like
Nobody's going to have any idea what that means except us.
Yeah, we should trademark that right away.
Yeah, that's the beauty of making something famous. Like nobody knows anything about it.
Yeah, before it gets out in the wild, let's, yeah.
So for tonight, and then I was thinking about next week, we got to have a check-in on how we're doing, because we're going to be wrapping up end of April, so we're 4 full months into the season, and there's been a lot of movies coming out, and then we're getting ready for the summer blockbuster, the summer campaigns, and all the different things that we talked about the Odyssey last week. To be honest, we got a lot of super positive feedback. I didn't know that the data was great. Oh my God, that was such good information. So, Mark and I were feeling good coming out of that. So tonight we're going to try to do it, but on a broader range. We're going to focus on the Oscars. We are going to, in honor of Miss Koulakundis, and we are going to.
Are you pronouncing that right?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
She's probably, if she is listening, she's probably like, Kula who?
Yeah, phonetically it looks like that. But
okay.
I So we are going to focus on the Oscars, ROI as a factor, and there's a pretty cool little data point that we will hit on as we go through. Some of the actors who have tremendous ROI and who have won Oscars, but when you look at their career, it's a lot of ups and downs. I got some pretty interesting clips that we're going to share. And then some actors who win an Oscar and you never hear from them again. They have terrible ROI, and we're like, where did this guy go and what happened? And they have a super interesting backstory. And there's one in particular we're going to focus on as we go through. And the more you read about it, you're just like, this guy was, he was everywhere. You couldn't turn on a TV or go to a movie without seeing him. And then he dropped out And then now he's making his comeback, and he's, there's a lot of appreciation going towards everything that he does. We're going to focus on that a little bit too as we go through.
Yeah. And I think the only thing that I would add is, I mean, we're going to go back probably 10 years and look at, the different Oscar winners, but it's us kind of, looking at the numbers, but at the same time, we don't know, obviously what opportunities were provided to these actors over the last, in their career and, the most recent, 5 to 10 years. Right. So it's that formula that you can't figure out because we just don't know. But the only thing we can say is, in 2026, April 2026, these actors that have won the Oscars in the past, 10 years, some careers have either, plateaued, have charted upwards or not at all. So it's just a mixed bag of, I would say, performance. And there's no pattern because there's a couple that have continued to ROI very steadily. And there's others that just, like winning an Oscar is like the highest honor in Hollywood, right? But what if it actually makes you a bad investment? I think that's how I would open it. With the prestige comes with the award, but does that translate into box office? Not always. So it's just very interesting. That's why I think this topic is, it was interesting when we were trying to come up with a topic and we kind of landed on this because this stuff that I would have never thought to be, the case. And we'll get into it, but I just thought it was interesting.
Yeah, the other thing I thought was cool as we continue to dig into this is there was 2 actors in particular that said the worst thing that happened to them at the point in time in their career was that they won the Oscar, right? And one is F. Murray Abraham. I don't know if you guys know who that is. You should look him up. He won Best Actor for Amadeus in 1984. I loved Amadeus. Like I probably watched that thing 20 times. I love the story of Mozart and everything that he went through, and just the history and the confrontation and rivalry that took place, during the time when he was creating his operas and symphonies and everything that he was doing. But then F. Murray Abraham's comment was, after winning, he became so full of himself that he became super difficult to work with. He was way too young career-wise when he did win. And basically, nobody wanted to work with him. He was unable to land roles. And then he started pivoting into theater, and now he's making a little bit of a comeback with White Lotus and some other shows. But that was 1984, and we're in 2026. So, it took him 40 years, 30 plus, to start his comeback to get back to the point that he was, when he won his Oscar. So I thought that was super fascinating, super interesting.
Yeah, I agree. But if you want to go through the most recent Oscar winners, and I just throw out some names, and then we could land on anyone here and talk a little bit more in depth. But I'm going to skip Michael B. Jordan because he was the most recent winner. He does really well in the box office. He's very consistent.
Yeah, I loved him as Creed. Like, I thought Creed was great. I mean, we talked about this. I had to watch Sinners. Multiple times. The first time I was like, I don't get it. But then by the second, third time, I was like, all right, this is super entertaining. But yeah, I'm a fan for sure.
Yeah, Michael B. He's had let me just run through some of his numbers. He's very, very impressive. And you can make the argument that, well, yeah, he's had exposure in some of these, like franchise type films, but still, right? I mean, so have other actors, but consistently his movies, whether he's supporting like in Black Panther, or the main actor in all the Creed trilogy, right? So Creed, the original Creed, came out in 2015 on a $35 million budget. That was a little surprising to find out. And it grossed worldwide at 173. So that nearly 5x'd. Creed 2 came out in 2018, $50 million budget, and a 214 return. So that was a 4 point something X. And then, of course, Creed 3 came out in 2023. Bigger budget at $75 million, but did $276. So this guy is solid, right? When it comes to that type of franchise. The other ones that didn't hit were some were earlier in his career, like that was streaming, so I don't want to count that. But Just Mercy didn't do so hot, 25 million on a 50 million return. Did you watch Fruitvale Station? That was
I know what it is, but I haven't watched it. Yeah.
That was his highest ROI. That came out in 2013 with a whopping budget of $1 million, and it grossed 17 million. That's pretty damn good, right?
Yeah, that's real good.
Yeah. So that's just a quick background on Michael B. But the next winner, if we're going back in, next calendar year, or the previous calendar year, I should say, Adrian Brody. Like, that was an interesting name. Like, he doesn't make any money, dude.
No, he is a broad range actor too. Like, he was in The Pianist and The Brutalist, but then he was in The Predators, right? He was in the Predator franchise and the Predator movie, going in as like a badass.
Yeah, like got some hunk dude.
Guy. Yeah, right. Yeah, all ripped up.
Yeah, like his shirt off. Like, whoa, what's Adrian? What happened here?
Yeah, badass.
But his and just just a rundown of his movie performance, like his body of work. The Brutalist, even though he won, he won his Oscar on that 2024. Budget was 30 million. It grossed 50 million. That was in 2024. 2023, Asteroid City. I didn't watch it. 25.
It's a Wes Anderson. He's a big Wes Anderson guy. He's in I think Grand Budapest Hotel. Like, he's Asteroid City was, I think Margot Robbie was in that. It has a really impressive cast, but I love Wes Anderson, if I didn't say that already. Asteroid City was really hard to sit through. Like, it's really dry and really slow.
Okay. So $25 million budget, a 54 million return. So it made no money, when you factor everything else. Fool's Paradise, 2023. $28 million budget. It didn't even make $1 million on the gross. Now that was a pretty big flop. Here's another big flop. See How They Run, 2022 came out. $40 million budget, 21 million return. Like, and it just gets worse and worse as you go back in time. So his movies just don't make money, period, as a lead.
And let me give you the cast of Asteroid City, because I was looking at this and I was fascinated to show that Adrian Brody's in this movie, and this movie still doesn't do well. You got Bryan Cranston, Ed Norton, Scarlett Johansson, Rupert Friend. If you look him up, you'll know who he is. You'll recognize the face. Jeffrey Wright, same thing. You'll know who he is. Tom Hanks, Liev Schreiber, Matt Dillon, Adrian Brody. Like, it's just, you're like, oh my God, what is going on in this thing, and why is it not doing well? Steve Carell is in it as a cameo. Tilda Swinton, Fisher Stevens. If you look up Fisher Stevens, you'll know who he is. It's just crazy, like how jam-packed this cast is, and you got Adrian Brody sitting there, and it doesn't do well. It can't do anything.
So his average ROI trend is basically 0.8 to 1. And that's it. So it's below profitability, and it's far below, any A-lister expectation. So he's just a bad investment. And I like Adrian Brody. I think he does. I think he's a terrific actor. He won an Oscar, so he can act, but he just does not sell tickets.
Yeah, and guys, to put that into perspective, if you take somebody like George Clooney at his worst from a career with all his ups and downs and everything, he's at like a $7 to $1 return. If you look at Brad Pitt's a 12 to 1, and Brody is a 0.8 to 1. So it's you compare that to some of the A-listers that are out there, it's pretty significant.
Yeah, and he just won an Oscar. It's not like, he's completely irrelevant. He still acts like he's still around.
Here, let me show you. I'm going to show you the clip of his first Oscar win. I
Okay.
love this. Like, this guy's got balls.
Adrian Brody.
And look who he's up against. Nick Cage, Jack Nicholson, Daniel Day-Lewis, Michael Caine. Like, he's not up against an episode. He was up against
some heavyweights. Yeah.
This is the first Academy Award and nomination
Look
for
at the move.
Adrian
You see this
Brody.
move.
Damn.
Standing ovation by all those superstars.
Whoa. I bet they didn't tell you that was in the gift bag. Oh my God. Thank you, really.
Love that, right?
Yeah, that was probably one of the best acceptance performance.
Yeah.
Good for
Halle
him.
Berry said later she was on some interview show and they're like, and for everybody who's listening, go watch us on Spotify or YouTube. The videos are worth watching. So I'm going to give that plug because, again, if you're not watching and you're just listening, which we do appreciate, we love it that you're listening.
Right.
Adrian Brody, when he won the award, he went up on stage and grabbed Halle Berry was the one saying, "When a winner, Adrian Brody," and he grabbed her and like gave her a huge kiss and like dipped her while he was kissing her. So, but Halle Berry came back and said she had no idea that was going to happen. She said she was in shock to the point she couldn't even react. And they're like, "Well, what went through your mind?" And she's basically like, "What the F? What's going on?" And they're like, "Well, then what did you do?" She goes, I was in shock."
Yeah.
Like, it just totally
she was a great sport about it though. She didn't push him off or anything. She was into it.
Yeah. Halle Berry.
Yeah. Maybe we just do that when we see her on the street, like in Jersey. Just like surprise.
Surprise. Hey, remember Adrian? It was okay. So we just thought it was going to be all right. Ladies, we're kidding. We would never kiss anybody without their permission. But
So
you guys out there.
yeah. So continuing on this list, the Oscar list, 2024, Cillian Murphy. That's an interesting name, right? Because he's an awesome actor. And he's been part of some pretty big budget films, which, if it's franchise related, did really, really well. Like all the Batman stuff. Oppenheimer is what he got his Oscar for in 2023. So that budget was $100 million and it grossed a killer $975. So that was his best ROI film in his entire career. Like that was career defining for him. Yep. And that was like, I think that was his first true like leading man blockbuster win. So kudos to him for that. But prior to that, if you remove the Batman stuff, Dark Knight, Batman Begins, relatively quiet. I mean, Dunkirk. I mean, he was supporting. He wasn't like the lead. And also Inception, also supporting. But that movie made a ton of money too. But where he was the lead, I mean, Oppenheimer, no doubt. But everything else was pretty modest in terms of ROI.
Yeah, I'll tell you, my favorite movie that he was in 28 Days Later. 28 Days Later, like, just redefined the zombie genre of movies. You got all the slow-moving zombies became fast. There's the monkeys get released, and they release the rage virus. So the premise of the movie is extremely realistic, but he was phenomenal in that. He's really young. I think that might have been one of his first role, if not one of his first. But he was... if I had to pick a role that he was in, that's my number one. And then Peaky Blinders, of course. I love Peaky Blinders, so that's always good.
Yeah. I think for me, my I mean, when I recognized him as a great actor was in Batman Begins. I thought he played that role
Scarecrow.
Just exceptionally well. And that was a long time. 2005, Batman Begins. Wow, that was 21 years ago. So this guy's had a pretty lengthy career to date. So 20 plus years. But again, in terms of ROI outside of franchises, he's pretty modest in terms of ROI. But
hey, is Eddie Redmayne on your list? Does he come up?
He does not.
So Eddie Redmayne is he played Stephen Hawking in Theory of Everything. Look him up, you'll know who he is. But he also was in Jupiter Ascending. He had a pretty big role in Jupiter Ascending.
Okay.
But Jupiter Ascending had a budget of 176 million, and the box office did 183. I mean, we've talked about that a little bit with Channing Tatum and all the ridiculousness that went on in that. But that's where you go from, basically your Oscar win into a bomb all within the same point. And it's, so let me take a step back. When you look at guys like Clooney and Brad Pitt and the ones we were talking about before, these guys, they have their careers and they have a lot of ups and downs within their careers. So they take these, like, let's call it a vanity project, and then they go do F1, right? Or they have a little vanity project and then they go Ocean's 11. So they know what they're doing. So they take these experimental roles and they go on. So you look at these guys like Eddie Redmayne and you're like, okay, you just did a tremendous job as Stephen Hawking. I mean, if you guys haven't seen that movie, go watch it. And then you're like, okay, I'm going to read the script for Jupiter Ascending. I'm going to look at Channing Tatum and Mila Kunis and the cast of that thing. And we're like, I think that's a great idea. I think that's the movie I want to be in. So, like, I guess my question is, how do you, if it's not intentional, like, what are you thinking? Is it just you're just there to collect a paycheck? Like, I would love to be able to go back again and interview some of these guys and talk to them and be like, hey, can you just explain me your thought process of being able to go from one to the next? Just crazy.
No. Yeah. I mean, very interesting as well. Oh, the last thing about Cillian Murphy and the, his blockbuster Oppenheimer. Got to say this, right? Who was the director? My boy, Christopher Nolan. He's been on fire forever. So was it Cillian Murphy, or it was just just great production from start to finish with Christopher Nolan? So that was that's kind of like my only takeaway that's relatable to our last conversation about Christopher Nolan.
Oppenheimer,
yeah.
Yeah, Christopher Nolan. He's we beat that Trojan horse to death. I love that. I'm going to use that more. I'm going to try to throw that in every episode.
Beat the Trojan horse to death.
Beat the Trojan horse to death.
That's fine. I mean, we do have the Odyssey coming up, so I think you can probably beat that some more.
Yeah, for sure.
So the next person on the list, 2023, for his performance in The Whale in 2022, Brendan Fraser. And we talked about this earlier. This guy had a bad break. When we talked earlier, I was like, hey man, we're kind of like 10% TMZ, with our podcast, right? Because we talk about this kind of stuff. And I think that's so relevant. And you'll talk about it in a little bit more detail, but in terms of Brendan Fraser's like ROI, I almost feel like he had three parts of his career. Like he had his peak era, late 90s, mid 2000s, right? With the Mummy franchise, Journey to the Center of the Earth. Like he made some killer money. Well, the movie did it, I should say.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the Mummy The Mummy. It came out in 1999. $80 million budget, which is a ton of money back then. And it grossed $416 million worldwide. So greater than a 5x return on that one. And if you thought that was a fluke, The Mummy Returns came out 2 years later on a $98 million budget and a $435 million return. So that was a 4.5x return, right? So he had almost like early career dominance. And Something happened. What happened, John?
So he has one of the best stories in Hollywood, right? And when you start reading about all the craziness, and we talked about this a little bit with Harvey Weinstein and the Me Too movement and everything that went along that. But then you also, if you guys haven't watched the show on, I think it's on Netflix or one of them, where they talk about, I'm going to get the names wrong, but like Drake and Josh, where it's so bad. Not the fat one, not the fat one who lost a lot of weight, but the the good looking one.
Okay.
He talks about how he was sexually assaulted in Hollywood during a lot of the filming, and it's in the documentary. Go watch it. Just look it up. It's worth watching. If I can get the name before the show's over, I'll put it back in. The other one is you talk about the young girl Jeanette McCurdy from iCarly and everything that went on with that with Dan Schneider, who just a total dirtbag. Like, I'm surprised that guy's still alive.
Yeah.
So Brendan Fraser in 2018 in a GQ interview came out and said he was sexually assaulted in 2003 by Philip Burke. Philip Burke in 2003 was the president of the Hollywood Foreign Press, which you guys know the Hollywood Foreign Press is really a big Oscar component and everything that goes along with that. It's a pretty powerful organization in Hollywood. So Brendan told his story, and then right after he told his story, he started to lose roles in Hollywood. So his thing is, by speaking out, telling his story, making it public, he got blacklisted within Hollywood. All his roles started to dry up. He stopped getting invited to the Golden Globes. He stopped getting invited. But that's in 2003, right? Hollywood, or 2018, I'm sorry. Hollywood was very not at the peak of everything that they started going through. Now, in the middle of all this, he's done The Mummy, George of the Jungle, The Mummy, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor, all the mummies. He did all his own stunts in all those movies. He had no stunt man. He did all his stuff. So he had multiple surgeries, back surgery, knee replacement, all this crazy stuff. So he's got this physical ailment where his body is just beat to hell. He's got the blacklisting going on because he spoke up saying, hey, I was sexually assaulted. And then right before that, in 2007, after this guy is, sexually assaulted in 2003, his body's beat up. His wife comes back and says, you know what? 2007, I want a divorce. I don't want to be married anymore. So the judge comes back and says, you know what? I'm going to give her $900,000 a year in alimony. So you got this guy who's like, his career's doing pretty well. It's starting to go down. He's having all sorts of depression issues because he got sexually assaulted. His body's beat up, and his wife's like, you know what? I'm out. I don't know her story. I don't know if it was him. I don't know if it was her. I'm not here to judge. All I'm saying is she got $900,000 a year in alimony from the courts. So now his roles are drying up. He's got no more money. He can't move because his body's beat up. And he's got to pay his wife $900,000 a year. And all the stuff, because apparently it was a pretty messy legal battle. So he's got to pay all the legal fees and everything that goes around it. Like, this guy is just crazy. And then it doesn't get any better. In the same period while he's going through all this, his mother has cancer, dies, right? So the guy had a rough,
Yes.
like 10-year span from 2003 up. So then he's coming back, and in 2018, he's like, I got to tell my story. I got to get this out. I'm having all sorts of like mental anguish and depression. Tells his story, and Hollywood's like, you know what? We think we're done. So it took him 5 years to get his shit together. And I don't mean that as his issue. I mean, like, where Hollywood was like, you know what?
Yeah.
We're much more mature. We're much better off than we were. And he lands the role of the whale, where they're calling it's his Renaissance.
Nice.
Like that. The Renaissance, where he's coming back, and the whale has brought him back into Hollywood. And he's, he's the golden child again. So.
Yeah. So I feel like he had like 3 phases in his career. Like phase 1, he was legitimate movie star, strong ROI with, some of the successful movies, late 90s, early 2000s, right?
Yeah.
He gets hurt a lot. And then phase 2, you have this whole commercial decline, or poor film selection, or just poor opportunities altogether. So that whole phase 2 lasted for, quite some time. And then, that revival, the Renaissance, phase 3, it's kind of an awards comeback to his movie career, but I don't think he's recovered as a commercial lead again, right? I don't think it'll ever happen, unfortunately, not for Brendan. But the one thing about The Whale, though, it ROI'd its ass off. Like the budget was a whopping $3 million, and it grossed $57 million. So that's that's shy of 20x the return. So, I credit him for persevering and all of that. I think he's more than deserved it. I wish more of the that backstory is pretty rough to begin with, but for a guy to persevere like that, going through, just getting blackballed, divorce, losing his mother, right? That takes out, the wind out of anyone, but to come back with that movie and get the recognition, kudos to that guy.
Yeah, and can you imagine you're going into an industry that you start out as a young kid and you just love, and you're like, man, this is what I want to do, and you start having success, and all of a sudden they're like, yeah, we're kind of done with you. Like the whole concept of just throwing actors away when you're done with them, and it's just a brutal industry. Like I don't know how people do it.
Yeah,
but great story, about him. But I'm glad he's coming back and he's doing well. And Brendan, if you ever want to be on the show, we're happy to have you. Yeah. You can tell your story, and, we'll console you as you cry
right.
for us.
Right.
And, we would love to have you here if you ever want to join.
Yes. And if you need a hot dog, we'll get you a few.
Did you watch The Whale? Did you watch it?
I did not watch it because you know why? I know about the premise of the movie, and I was like, I can't watch it. Like I couldn't stomach it because it's like, it's sad.
Yeah,
and,
super depressing.
Yeah. So I for that reason alone, I couldn't stomach it. Like that's why I chose not to watch it.
Yeah. He's great, but because you believe it, like everything that happens is very believable, but it's super depressing to watch.
Yeah. Yeah. So next on the Oscar list, coming in 2022 was Will Smith.
Keep my damn wife's name
out your mouth.
That's all I remember.
And that's all I'm going to say. I think that event changed my whole perspective on him. And then, when you read more about the backstory between him and, Jada, like I was like, oh man, what a messy entanglement that was. I was just like, I lost so much respect, like when he did that to Chris Rock, like of all the people, right?
Yeah.
That's why I don't even want to, I didn't even research his films. I was like, yeah, next one.
And it's a shame too, because like, I love iRobot. I love I Am Legend. I love Independence Day, right? Like I could just keep rattling on the movies I love, but
Bad Boys
that happened. Yeah. Bad Boys.
Right.
Oh my God. The rise and fall the fall and rise of Reggie. Guys, yes. I'm going to get, it's not a movie. Go on TikTok or whatever ridiculous social media platform you guys use and just watch a video. It's called like the fall and rise of Reggie from Bad Boys. Reggie's the girl's boyfriend that when he shows up at the door in the first movie, they just like verbally and emotionally just beat this kid down. And then in the last Bad Boys, he comes back from the Marines and he just kills like 20 people in the house and saves the day. And all he wants to do at the end is cook his chicken on the grill. And it's just great. Like, it's just great. So if you ever get it, you want like 5 minutes of just pure entertainment, just go watch it. But Bad Boys is great. And after that slap, I have not watched the single Will Smith movie. And the only reason I watched the Reggie one is because I like Reggie. But it's it's terrible. Like I can't respect the guy who does that like that.
I'm with you 100%. And he's a Philly guy, right? So you're rooting for this guy his entire career. Like literally, I rooted for this guy and when that happened, I was like, all right, done. Cancel culture, man. It's a real thing.
Yeah,
right?
I canceled him. I'm done with him.
Yeah.
You know, when he goes on and apologizes and admits that he was a dumbass for doing something like that, I'm more than happy to give him the benefit. But people make mistakes. Just admit it and say, hey, whatever. I was doing coke that night and Jada messed up, right?
So
like, whatever it is, just like come out and talk about it.
So the reason why it bothered me when that happened, and I'll give you the story. It was back in, I think, 1991-ish. I went to see a comedian up in Vassar College in Poughkeepsie, New York, who just started his career, and he was like on MTV. No one knew his name, but I mean, actually, there was a few people that knew his name.
Right.
I saw Chris Rock live for the first time, and he was a freaking nobody. He was so damn good. Like, his stand-up game was so good. Like, and that was my first memory of Chris Rock in person, right? So I followed his career, and I felt like I was, I met the guy, I shook his hand and all that stuff, and he was like just down to earth dude. So when that happened, you feel like this connection with the guy, and when that happened, I was like, all right, I'm done with the other guy. Like,
yep.
I'm pro Chris Rock here,
Yeah,
so,
too big for his own good, right? Too much ego, too much nonsense.
Yeah. All right, so next on our list.
Hold on, I got one.
Okay.
I'm going to throw one out.
I'm listening.
Cuba Gooding Jr. He's not really relevant anymore, but the fact that he's not relevant anymore is why I think it's so good. Because if you guys ever watched Jerry Maguire is a classic. Like, it's up there as like, top 10, show me the money.
Yes.
Stealing the pootie.
It is. Yeah, it is. It is a pop culture absolute classic.
Yeah. Human head weighs 8 pounds, right? There's so much classic. Like, you couldn't put what was the one song? Like, I don't know if it was Celine Dion or whoever it was, but they cut all the Jerry Maguire lines into the song. So you're trying to just listen to the radio, and you got to listen to the stupid Jerry Maguire clips, like when they did Titanic and they embedded all the Titanic clips in.
Yeah.
But you couldn't live without Jerry Maguire. And Cuba Gooding Jr. was one of those guys that he won the Oscar for his role. Jerry, just let me lay here. Like, the crowd's going crazy because he just wants to show me the money. And I don't know, like, he just dropped out of nowhere and he became just a huge bomb. So Jerry Maguire is 96.
Wow.
And Cuba Gooding Jr. is cited by Hollywood as the fastest fall from grace in Oscar history, which is why I think I wanted to bring him up and why we needed to talk to him.
But I think he had an incident where it was like sexual misconduct a few years ago now. Like, I don't remember exactly when. And I think at that point, though, I think his career was already, on a downturn.
Yep.
But I think that basically sealed the deal for him. Like, I think the public just turned their back on Cuba after that got out. And the thing was, I think when that story broke, other women stepped forward and claimed the same thing. So I was like, dude, you're done. But wow, that was a long time ago, dude.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, this is where it goes back to, like, do you guys even read the scripts, right? Does anybody just read the scripts? So after Jerry Maguire, he started getting all these roles offered to him. And two of the roles that were offered to him were Ray, which Jamie Foxx ended up winning the Oscar for, and Last King of Scotland with Forrest Whitaker, which was incredible if you guys ever get a chance to watch it. Amistad, which was incredible. Hotel Rwanda, which I think Don Cheadle ended up going in and taking. Yeah. And Collateral with Tom Cruise, which he'd already done, where Jamie Foxx also went in and I think and did Collateral. So he's passing on all these roles that turned out to just be incredible. But what did he take instead? Snow Dogs, which, if you ever watch it, it's about dog racing where it's awful. It's like a Disney thing. Boat Trip, which is awful. So then he ended up doing like 17 direct-to-video movies because he's passing on all this other shit. And then he's got his private jet. He's buying all these crazy houses. And then to your point, he was the way it's worded, he was accused by multiple women of non-consensual touching in New York City bars and nightclubs. And in 2022, he pled guilty. But by pleading guilty, they just gave him a misdemeanor charge. But, damage was done at that point.
Yep.
Oh, and he had to do 6 months of behavioral counseling. So ridiculous what goes on in Hollywood.
That is ridiculous.
And then in 2023, he had a major civil lawsuit that was associated with all this, but it was a little bit more than sexual touching. This woman actually accused him of rape. And then he settled the lawsuit minutes before the trial was set. So he just paid her a bunch of dough and made it go away. So, yeah, just absolutely insane what went on in this guy's life. And his inability to choose a good script versus the nonsense that he chose.
Yeah, all you had to do is make one decent decision there. I mean, he was just in a bad streak after bad streak. So,
but he does think if he puts movies out on DVD compared to this new streaming stuff, that he doesn't think streaming is going to take off. So he's focused more on DVD.
That makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Oh, I can't even handle this some nights when we do this stuff. I'm just like, what is going on? Yeah. So apparently he also focused really heavily in DVDs because he didn't feel like streaming was ever going to get any traction. Great job, Cuba.
Yeah.
Good choice.
Yeah. Good foresight on that one.
Oh my God.
Wow. Anyway.
All right. Back to you. Back to you, Mark.
Well, I'm just looking at the list. I mean, we're not going to the end of time here, but I mean, these are the recent Oscar winners, and I feel like these names are appropriate for the argument. So in 2021, Anthony Hopkins for The Father. Anthony Hopkins is an absolute legend.
Yeah.
But his ROIs, I mean, he's played so many different roles. So he's had, quite a few hits, but again, when you participate in so many different films, different genres, different budget tiers, et cetera, right? You're going to have probably a mixed bag of ROI results. So I think early in his career though, he had elite, I'm talking elite ROI, the Silence of the Lambs, one of the highest ROI films ever.
Yeah. Dude, that was world changing, right? All the quotes and the night vision, and it puts the lotion on, or he gets the hose, right? That, and the Hannibal Lecter masks, that became a Halloween thing. That movie was pop culture.
Yes.
Right? That thing just absolutely changed the world.
Absolute classic. Yeah. So for the numbers, and this film came out in 1991. So, 35, 35 years ago. Jeez. The budget was $19 million and it grossed $272 million. So 14x ROI. That's some serious cashola back then. Yeah. That is if you apply the inflation to today's numbers, that's probably $500 million. Wow. That's just staggering. Some of the other, I would say, hits in his career, The Father, which he won, came out in 2020. $6 million budget and a $24 million return. Another hit was, I forgot about this one. It was a supporting role and it was a franchise, but Thor Ragnarok.
Oh yeah, he was
dad.
Yeah, the dad. I can't think of his name. Shit. I want to say Zeus, but it wasn't Zeus.
Yes. Yes. He was Papa Thor, right?
Thor and Loki's dad.
Yes. So that was in 2017, $180 million budget, $854 million return. But, it was Marvel, big cast.
Odin. God, how do I not remember Odin? Such a dumbass.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that was obviously a supporting role. And I'm just trying to, I'm going through his most recent 15 films. Outside of that, and outside of really The Father and The Silence of the Lambs, ROI in the most recent years was not good. Transformers, did you know he was the voice in Transformers The Last Night? I didn't know this.
Which voice? Who was he? Does it say?
It doesn't say. But,
Yeah.
you know, those numbers were staggering. But again, he was just the voice.
So
Red.
Check.
Yeah. I was going to say, I'm going to just give a rundown of some of in the early, you know, like 2014 Noah, $125 million budget on a 362 return. Not bad. Not bad at all.
Russell Crowe. Russell Crowe was Noah. Yeah, it was okay. It was a little long.
Right. Red 2.
A little too much God in there for me. You would enjoy that.
Would have enjoyed it 100%.
Yeah, not for me.
Red 2, which came out in 2013. I didn't see this. 84 million on a 148 return.
That's one of those movies that probably had a huge salary budget because it has John Malkovich, Bruce Willis. I can't think of all the actors that were there. Obviously Anthony Hopkins, but I'm sure the budget on that thing was the payroll on that thing was probably crazy.
Yeah. So yeah, early in his career, some really, really good. I mean, Silence of the Lambs was just, again, that was it didn't set the tone for his ROI for the remainder of his career, but that was a huge, I mean, he peaked. He delivered both awards and money. So that's kind of hard to do.
Some follow-ups, Hannibal. I think there was a couple like sequels on that too that he was able to do his thing.
Yep.
All right. So with the time check, I want to hit on one more.
Sure.
That is
what is our time check?
46. So we're good.
Okay.
The epitome to me of Oscar up, down, sideways, and just after all craziness. And I got a clip for this one too, but I think we would be doing a disjustice if we didn't, or an injustice if we didn't cover Nicolas Cage.
Oh God, yeah.
No, I think Nicolas Cage requires a whole episode, right? I think this guy is completely insane. He's had huge hits and then like crazy lows, and he goes off and makes these crazy independent movies, which are actually, if you're just, you eat 4 edibles and a bag of shrooms and you sit there and just watch that thing for 12 hours over and over again, you probably have one of the greatest nights of your life. But it's one of those things where he's just completely nuts. He has a mausoleum in New Orleans that's already been set aside for when he dies, and it's right next to like what's her name, like Madame Laveau or whatever the voodoo priest is. Like the guy's crazy, but I love him.
Yeah.
And, the movies that he's got going on right now with like Long Legs and some of this other stuff, like Long Legs had a less than $10 million budget and had a $108 million return. And it was a sleeper. Like this was just one of his crazy things that he put together. And it's actually pretty decent. But they said, if you looking at the return from 96 to 2004, he averaged a 15x return. 2010 to 2020. Yeah. Crazy. That's with The Rock and,
Con Air.
Yeah.
Ghost Rider.
Money back in the box, right? Like all that craziness. Then he dropped down to $3 3-time return, but it's hard because he did a ton of direct-to-video stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But his Oscar was Leaving Las Vegas. And if you ever just want to watch a good movie, Leaving Las Vegas had a $4 million budget and grossed $32 million. So an 8 times return. And he was it was a little bit out of his wheelhouse, but man, is it good. And Elizabeth Shue is in it as well. But
Yeah.
Real good. So I would say if you put that on the list of a must watch of all the movies, but I would say that's probably in my top 30, maybe top 40, but it's good. But The Rock and National Treasure is also in one of my favorites up there. I love National Treasure, but National Treasure Book of Secrets didn't do as well as National Treasure, but it still had almost a 4-time return, $130 million budget with almost a $500 million box office. So he's got his thing. So I'm going to show you a clip that I pulled for Nicolas Cage. I'm hoping it's not too long, but it's definitely entertaining.
Yeah, I actually probably The Rock was probably my favorite Nicolas Cage flick. Him and Sean Connery. All right, like they were awesome together.
Agent Goodspeed.
Yes.
I stole this from YouTube, but man, I love it.
They might cut us off.
This guy has more range than any actor in Hollywood.
Am I a fucking retard, man? Am I a fucking retard? Oh! I know what this is. You're trying to stop me out because of this crazy little man you being around. Well, vive la fucking France, man! Someone's trying to kill me, man! You fucking hangers!
It never just goes away.
That goddamn contract is somewhere in those goddamn fucking files! Fuck! Fucking fuckers, fuck! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck Mexico!
Horseshit.
Hi, fucking yeah!
You ever been dragged to the sidewalk and beat until you...
Pissed blood! No! Fuck you! Fuck! Fuck!
Oh, Wintown. I forgot about that. Raising Arizona, one of my favorites.
Yeah.
So you forget all the stuff this guy's done, right? Look, the man.
What is happening to
All right, I gotta stop it there. Oh, maybe not. Oh, let me take that off. The Raising Arizona is so good. I totally forgot about Raising Arizona.
Oh yeah.
Right?
I mean, there was dude. He was box office for I would say just about 10 years in the like year after year. I mean, I'm just looking at his, early in his career. You remember Face Off with Travolta?
Yeah.
I thought
there's
that
a
was good.
scene in Face Off where there's a shootout that's going on and the little kid's wearing the headphones and he's listening to Somewhere Over the Rainbow.
Yeah.
While the shootout is going on. I was like, whoever shot that and whoever thought of that, from a director or writer or cinematographer or whatever, I was like,
brilliant.
Just
right?
Absolutely brilliant. And it's in slow motion and the kid's just sitting there watching, like, oh, brilliant. Absolutely love it.
Yeah. One of the movies, which I actually watched this over the holidays, me and Cam watched it. Remember The Family Man?
Yeah.
That was, to me, that was a sleeper. I liked that. That was that was your typical, like, I felt like that script was written for Nicolas Cage because he was like, I could see him like in real life being that guy. What was her name?
Lords of War.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Man, so many. Now he's coming out. He's Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. He's the Spider Noir. So he's gonna be in the new Spider-Man too.
Yeah.
He's got a part in that.
Tia Leone, that was his wife in The Family Man.
But look,
Don
I'm
Cheadle
going to
was
give
in
you
that
guys some
too.
stuff, and this is why this guy is completely insane, right? So actors do like one movie a year, maybe two. Obviously we talked about the TNZ, the summer of TNZ, right? And all the movies that they got going on.
Mm-hmm.
But in 2026, Nicolas Cage has 1, 2, 3 movies coming out. In 2025, he had 1, 2, 3 movies. In 2024, he had 2 movies. In 2023, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 movies in 2023. In 2022, 2 movies. In 2021, 1, 2, 3 movies. Like, I could go on and on and on. Like, this guy goes 3, 4, 5 movies a year coming out. I'm looking at his movie list. It's ridiculous how many movies this guy's had done in his career. But this guy, he's got to be one of the hardest working actors in Hollywood. Just pumping movies out since 1981.
Yeah, he's not retiring. Like, he's not living off of Social Security. I mean, he's 62. I mean, he can retire, but he chooses not to.
Nope. He's making movies.
God bless.
Yeah. He's Francis Ford Coppola's nephew, I think. Like, he's related to Francis Ford Coppola. His real name is Nicholas Coppola, and he changed it to Cage for Hollywood.
Yeah.
But he's in that family somewhere. But it's hard to believe when the guy's made 8,000 movies that he's only won one Oscar, right? But it's freaking ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. I cannot keep up with him. He is just like, he doesn't scale back. He just keeps going. I mean, I haven't watched anything that he's done in a very long time. Like, I'm talking like the last probably 5 years. I don't think I've watched anything he's done.
What did I just watch the other day that was pretty good? It's a newer movie of his. The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent with Pedro Pascal. It's pretty good. It's pretty entertaining. It's Nicolas Cage being Nicolas Cage. I mean,
yeah.
there's no secret to it. But
yeah, I'm a big Pedro fan. I like Pascal. He's great.
Yeah, your big movie's coming out soon.
Yes,
with him.
Yeah, so. Good for him too. Like, I remember with I was reading a little bit about his history and his career, but I think if I remember correctly, like the series that put him on the map was Game of Thrones. He said he was just like fighting to get roles, and once he got Game of Thrones, everything started opening up. Like, he had like, I think 3 movies back to back to back, after the show. So, yeah. I was like, didn't know that. I didn't know he was like, a struggling actor before Thrones hit, and he was awesome in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, I know that put him on the map. I didn't realize he was struggling, but I know after that is when he really started to take off.
Yeah, he said it in an interview. He was like, yeah, it was like, I would go for auditions. I think I would, get the role, and next thing I know, I'm not getting the role. And he was like, and when he did Game of Thrones, so it was gaining popularity at that point, because I think he came in, I want to say season 2, right? Or 3, one of the earlier seasons. And he said, yeah, he was like, I was getting calls all the time after that role. And I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
Dude, listen to this, like 3 years, 2 years that Nicolas Cage had.
I'm tired just listening to it. Like, this guy is...
In 95, he did Leaving Las Vegas and won the Oscar. Now, in 95, he's been acting since 1981. So he's, call it 15 years in.
Wow.
He's Leaving Las Vegas. He wins the Oscar. He does Kiss of Death in the same movie, which is awful. Just awful. Like, that's one of those things that's like an Ed Wood movie. You go watch it and you're just like, what is going on in this thing? So he does an Oscar win and a crazy movie in the same year. 96, he does The Rock. 97, he does Face Off and Con Air. So he's got 4 of the top movies of his career in 95, 96, and 97. Then he does Family Man and Gone in 60 Seconds in the same year, which I love Gone in 60 Seconds.
Awesome movie, yeah.
Then he does National Treasure and Lord of War in back-to-back years. And then he does National Treasure, Book of Secrets, which was the same movie, but different. Like, it was okay. Yeah. And then he does Next, which stunk, Ghost Rider, which stunk, and Bangkok Dangerous, which is like a Razzie winning bomb.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this guy just doesn't care. Like, for anybody who listens who knows me, like, I want to go out. Like, one of my one night out, like if I was dying tomorrow, I want to go out with Kid Rock. Right. Like, I want to go out, spend the night with Kid Rock in Vegas, spend like maybe 2 nights, because I don't think one night's enough. I might have to add Nicolas Cage to that list. Like, I might want to be like, Nick, you got so much energy. Let's just go hang out, buddy. Kid Rock, number 1. Nicolas Cage is now number 2 on my hangout list.
You know who, there's one person that works, and I'm just going to say a first name, but he reminds me of Nicolas Cage. Carl. Am I wrong? No?
You are absolutely right. You are.
I mean,
right.
That's when I think of, it's funny when I met him the first time, I was like, man, he reminds me so much of Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking his mannerism, his physique, like everything. And I think they're the same age.
That is hilarious. This is a friend of ours. For anybody who doesn't know, this is a guy we know that it's so funny. He has these mannerisms and these things, and you're just like, why do I know this guy?
Yeah.
And then when you just said that, that's so funny.
So of all the 8 billion movies our buddy Nick Cage has been in, take a swag on what his reported net worth is.
Ooh. Oh, let me give you one more thing before I answer that. Moonstruck and Raising Arizona also in the same year. Jesus. So like this guy, like he just crazy. 150 million.
No, not even close.
8
not $40 million.
Really?
Yeah.
He's
right. Like
what new agent, right?
No, I'm like, right. Were you doing these films like pro bono? Like what was going on? I'd like to know what his salary was now.
So they're doing a John Madden movie in 2026. I think it's getting released. They're filming it in 2026, but I think it's going to get released sometime in 27 because they already started releasing some of the trailers. He's playing John Madden in the movie. You don't think playing John Madden in a movie is Nicolas Cage, where Madden was just had this huge following and Madden, like the Madden video game and everything that goes along with it. You don't think he's getting at least 10 million for that and he's only worth 40 million? That's super disappointing.
Yeah. I mean, I remember reading about his issues with the IRS, years ago, but at one point, early in his career, not early, but when he was stringing blockbuster after blockbuster, he was commanding like 20 million per film. Today, it's closer to 4 million, according to this article. But right, for a guy that's had that many films produced, my God, like you would think at minimum he's at 100 mil. But he had some bad, I think, real estate investments, which sunk his his net worth a few years ago.
Well, what do you think he paid for his mausoleum in New Orleans? Like that had to be a pretty penny, and you got to keep paying for that thing. Like I don't know, but yeah, that's sad. That's a shame. So
right,
estimated salary for Madden is between 10 and 15 million, but it hasn't been formally released. So yeah, he got paid pretty well.
Yeah. Oh, here you go. Here's an article that talks about. I'm just curious if they mention how'd he lose the bulk of his fortune. Yeah, but you're right. He was born Nicholas Kim Coppola.
Yeah. He's got daddy money.
Yeah, he attended Beverly Hills High School and UCLA School of Theater, Film and Television.
Yeah, He needs a whole episode on his own. He is such a crazy character with his movie list and everything else that goes on.
Yeah, without a doubt.
All right, folks. So we are wrapping up. I hope you liked the episode. We tried something a little new tonight just to give everybody a little broader range and some information of what's been going on in the world. Focus on the Oscars as a theme for my new girlfriend, Kula Kundis.
Yes.
I would hope I would know how to say her name when we're this close.
Kula
Kundis. So in honor of her, we did a little Oscar ceremony, and then I think next week we'll be back to our normal movie killer shenanigans as we identify who's going to be next. And then we'll do a recap of some predictions that we made for the year so far and how we're making out for the first half of the year. So any closing remarks before we kick it off with the glitch?
No, to me, Nicolas Cage is just an absolute, like he's like the Tasmanian devil of Hollywood. I mean, that guy just keeps going on strong. It's a shame he lost all that money though, but it's so just real quick. So at one point he was worth 150 million. But back in April 2023, Nicolas Cage opened up his debt to the IRS of 6.3 million. Basically, he overinvested in real estate and he got crushed. probably during that market crash back in '08. So I mean, he still has money, but he had a lot more.
Yeah, 40 million, nothing to sneeze at, but this
No.
is a guy who's been working his ass off since 81. You would hope he would be a little bit higher, but shit happens.
Well, he's probably going to be working till he is 81.
Yeah.
At the rate he's going.
Well, he got smart. So apparently with the movies coming up, he's been asking for a lot more back end. So
No, he's not asking for that DVD money like Cuba.
Cuba. I think Nick caught on that video, streaming was maybe the way to go.
Right.
If anybody out there ever listens to this and they know Cuba, send him our way, because I'd love to make fun of this guy direct. Like, I don't want to make fun of him online, but I'd love these. He's another guy that's got to be like, well, I thought it was going to do well, and I had a Betamax, and then I had these big video discs, and I just thought DVD was the way to go.
No, I think that was a great point. I think if somebody is listening, eventually, if you can give us a recommendation on how do we get these, actors to appear on this cast, send us that info, because I would be dying to get any one of these, former actor or, former.
Cuba said, you're a former actor. We'd like to talk to you.
Yeah, because he hasn't done anything lately, but he'd be great to talk to,
Yeah. And Brendan Fraser, he's making a comeback, but we should have hit him when he was down. Hey,
yeah,
can we do our podcast. Nobody's really talking to you, but we'll talk.
Yeah. We're going to blow up your spot, dude.
Yeah.
We need to get you on.
Along those same lines, if anybody knows any other actors who are down and out right now, maybe just looking for someone to show them some love. Yeah.
Well, should we just comb this, like, geographically, like comb our area within like 100 miles and see, what actor is in need of a little airtime? I don't know.
Yeah, I can ask Gemini which actors have lost the most money and have no roles.
Yes, and live within 100 miles of Philadelphia.
Yeah.
All right.
Look, and if they're big enough, I'll fly them in. Guys, if you can get me somebody who's like not a B list, I don't want C or D list. Like, I don't want the Dancing with the Stars cast.
Right.
I want somebody who's at least a B. I'm more than happy to fly them in. Or we could just do a remote. Put them up.
Absolutely.
We're pretty easy. We got a little budget. We got a little bit of a budget we can throw in.
Yeah, but the thing is, we need to kick this into that next gear, that next tier of, notoriety, I think. And that's how it starts. We got to get these, some names in.
Yeah, the B's. Start with the B's.
Start with the B's.
Yeah.
All right.
That's our new motto. We start with the B's.
Dude, you're coming up with all these great phrases, man. We're going to have to, trademark these phrases. Start with the B's.
Yeah. Go to an award show. Hey, you're a B. Would you happen to come talk to us? All right. Now we're just dragging this thing out. We already lost every viewer that we had. All right, folks. We appreciate you guys spending time with us tonight. As always, live on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, mkpcast.com. Check out the website. Check out our videos on TikTok and leave us some comments on Facebook or YouTube. Those are the two platforms we seem to focus on the most and where we get a little love going. So we are here wrapping up. Thanks for having us in your house tonight. We do appreciate it. And this will be available for all major podcast platforms by tomorrow night, hopefully. And then we will get it out there. So.
Yeah. And most importantly, subscribe and share.
Yes. Share and subscribe. I'm going to drag this out another 30 seconds.
Do it.
One of the guys that I was listening to the other night, anybody who shared his video, he called out their names on the show. I don't know if people care enough, but he seemed to get a lot of shares. So if you guys share our video out on TikTok or share our video on Facebook,
next week we'll call you out. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll call you out on the show. And
give you a nice shout out.
If you listen, well, share our video, get all your boys out there listening, and we'll call you out on the show.
Yeah, Brandon, we're here for you, Brandon. We are absolutely here. Yes. No. Oh, not. Oh, I thought we were talking about
Fraser.
No, but we are here for Brendan Fraser too.
Yeah, and our one loyal listener out of New York, we're here for you too, buddy.
100%.
And Carl, New York. If you ever listen to this,
Carl, we love you, Carl.
Don't take offense. We love you.
All right.
Are we done?
Yes.
Right. I just can't find my music. All right, here we go.
Here we go.
All right, folks. Thanks for all your time tonight. Really appreciate it. Hope you guys have a great weekend.
Yep. And see you next week.
See you next week and get us some feedback. Thanks, everybody.
Are you ready?